So my name is Kevin. I'm one of the engineering officers on board, and usually that means I'm responsible for 8 hours. Not right now, so I have a little bit of time for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We're here in the lounge, and the past few nights I've been in here watching movies and stuff like that. It's so comfortable, and it's so great to chill out with crew members in here. How did it become so wonderful? Let's look around. I'm going to stand up. You can stay right there. We'll look around.
It wasn't actually always like this. Very little of what you see is original. Pretty much just the walls above 5 foot high. So when the ship first came to us, linoleum floor, a conference table bolted down to the middle. Not home. Not home at all. Even this table we're sitting at, looks like one of the fine things you'd see on an old ship, but again, made by the crew here. Bookcases. Hopefully we'll get a chance to hear from one of the guys who was instrumental in making them. But we've all taken little turns as time has gone on to make this, not only a comfortable place to live, but it's also our home for most of our lives. So.
Made by the crew. This is a beautiful table, and it gives a little bit of perspective with the cribbage board and the remote controls. It's a nice, big hexagonal table.
It is massive. You could sit half the crew at the table at once too.
And then not only that, but the metal part, the bolts, the legs, the center stand.
Yeah.
And then there's plugs around each of the legs.
Yeah, that was actually my idea. I figured while we're doing it, while we're putting in power, let's put in some plugs with little USB things for your phones. Yeah, so I haven't done much of the woodwork in here, but some of the things I have done, like we have a sound bar for the TV that's been made up.
Yeah.
And then over in this corner, we want to make sure things don't go for too much of a ride around here, so we gotta custom fabricate mounts for everything, including the subwoofer, little special mounts for the speakers. But again, it's little touches that just make it that much more of our home.
And when I've been watching, I sort of claim this corner over here, and the sound is great.
Oh yeah.
Like that's with when we watched the Shackleton thing, and they're in the middle of Antarctica, the wind's blowing right by me, and then I can feel the ship moving right next to me. It's really, really awesome feeling.
Exactly.
So is this just, did you guys the monitor, the TV? Did you inherit that?
I'm trying to remember where that came from. I don't think it was original to this room. I think the only thing that it came with was the projector and a drop-down screen, which seemed great, but it's also a really weird place to put it right next to the doors of the room. People want to kind of go in the back of the room and not be disturbed and just get comfortable, and when they're hanging out watching a movie.
Before we go on with that, there's the 2 public access kiosks over there for the crew to get on the internet whenever they need to.
Exactly. So we are afforded a very nice budget of personal data here as crew members. You're not going to find that on almost any other ship. One, it's because the bandwidth we have, because the area we work in is not really contested with other scientific ships. And 2, it's also flexible. Science comes first, but they also are not shy about sharing the resources with the crew when possible. So this is one spot to get the internet or your personal device. It's like an architect had a great vision for a house, and then the people moved in and said, "What? No, hang on a second. We're gonna change that." So yeah, everything down to the carpet, everything has been changed, modified. All the artwork was brought in. None of that was, they didn't have an interior decorator come through the ship. So.
What do you need to take into account when, is this just how you would mount it at your house? Or are there special C-mounts that you use for attaching monitors and soundbars to?
So the monitors and the soundbars are the ones you would use at home, but you have to make sure it's one that would actually guard against that lateral motion, because that's what's going to destroy stuff. The ship doesn't rock this way as much. We're looking at the front of the ship here in the back, so it doesn't rock too much that way. But side to side, you want to make sure that the mount doesn't have slots in it. That's the enemy, or slots that let it go really far to one side or another. If it's too big of a piece of equipment, or something like the subwoofer over there, we're just going to make something that's going to hold it very securely.
Now, before people think like, "Oh my God, all this money is spent," couldn't this is a PS2?
Yeah, exactly. It's a PS2. This came from the as is at Best Buy, and then a lot of it, a lot of stuff is just the crew kind of reinvesting in our home. You know, like all these books that you have here. Lots of us have taken the time and effort to bring in books. We've even gotten partnership from the Alaska University Libraries. So they've sent us out some really, really cool books on Inupiaq culture. So it lets us know a little bit more about where we operate.
Boy, this bookshelf is really beautiful. If only we knew who made it. If only we knew. Wait a minute.
Got a second for us?
Who's over there? Oh my God, it's you! Hello.
Hey,
What is your name?
Eric.
I saw you were an employee of the month, or the week, I guess.
Of the moment.
Of the moment.
Yeah.
I was just talking about how the crew has worked together to turn this into a very livable, comfortable space. Is that important to you, and why did you want to do that?
Because we're basically on this vessel for a half a year at a time, so it's nice to have it homey and not feel more like an office.
And so there's this beautiful table here. Did you make this hexagonal table?
I cut the plywood and the trim, and another one of our crewmates did all the inlay and the veneer on top.
It is beautiful. Look at that. And then the bookshelves also, is that part of your creation as well?
Yes.
You know, a lot of teamwork.
Yeah.
A lot of teamwork. Definitely.
There was two of us that built that.
Yeah, it was kind of a marathon.
Yeah, that took a while in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty impressive. Like with the material stuff that the ship already had, and you just repurposed it for the bookshelf left over from other fabrication jobs?
No, we bought all that material purposely for the bookshelves.
If you see people mistreating it, do you have ownership of it, or you just sort of let it go and let it be part of the ship?
No, I like to see it stay nice. You know, every once in a while when it gets messy or whatever, I try to clean up a little and even kind of get the books organized. Just give it some love, because this is kind of like our home away from home.
I struggled for a moment of not wanting to come in and put the books in alphabetical order by author or title or anything like that. Is that a thing that, have you thought about making the library more library cards? Is that the next thing? A little.
No.
No.
You gotta keep it whimsical and charming. You know, most of us are just browsing for a book anyway. It's not I need a book on 18th century sailing schooners now. It's, you know, what's going to let me have a little bit of an escape. You know, it's sometimes it's a movie, sometimes it's a big card game, but for sailors forever it's been books. So we got a lot of our cabins, our little bookshelves are full up there, and people just got books in their drawers, and people keep bringing new ones and stealing old ones.
It's a take one, leave one library type of thing.
Exactly.
Scientists too, I imagine, add their books as it goes along. I found some weird textbooks in there. Is this a comfortable? Have you made the ship the comfortable way that you would want it to be? Like, is it done yet?
No. I think we got a lot of work to do yet, where we can make it more comfortable and homey. We've made the bridge. You know, we've done a lot of wood projects on the bridge to make it look nicer.
I was admiring that yesterday, like boxes for the radar stuff and little cup holders and the wood inlays for the chart table and all that stuff. It's pretty beautiful up there.
One thing nice about being on a new vessel is there's always going to be something you can improve on from the shipyard, like to make it more livable and just
To make it our own.
yeah.
You know, this is our own. I mean, it's kind of Alaska's flagship, but it's our home.
If there's enough work already on the ship, it's going all the time. It must be a really passion project to make time to make these things for the ship.
I take pride in it. It definitely, yeah. I mean, we all really like being on this ship, and we all take pride in it. So, like, the things I know, like a lot of everybody, the permanents and even the temps. I mean, there's so much pride on this ship. Like they put in the extra effort to make everything look better and good.
Yeah.
Improved. You know.
Like when we were working on this stuff, you know, be up till the middle of the night when people officially got off shift at 4. But a lot of this stuff has been personal, after hours. You know, sometimes I've even brought some of my own tools in to do it. So it's not just hey, gee, I can get some hours and make this nice. It's, you know, like you said, it's very personal.